When you're about to procrastinate, imagine your future self and evaluate two scenarios. One where you have finished a task and one where you haven't. After that, ask these two questions for each situation. What will you lose or gain in the future? And what are you losing right now? Let me shed more light on this with an example. Imagine a heavy snowfall from last night has completely blocked the path to your garage. You need to go outside and clear the snow from your driveway, but you also want to watch your favorite sports match. Now ask yourself, if I don't rise and get out to clean the snow, what would I lose? What joy and sense of safety might I lose? Or what kind of anxiety and pain might I experience? You wouldn't be able to pull out your car for work tomorrow morning. Probably your boss will yell at you and potentially jeopardizing your job security. It could damage the garage door, leading to repair expenses. Now ask yourself, what am I losing by doing this task right now? You won't be able to watch this sports match you want. You'll have to tolerate the cold, and you might even have to interact with a neighbor you don't particularly like. In the end, compare the gains and losses for both now and the future. Be honest with yourself. And remember, we will not lie to ourselves. You can write it all down on paper and even project further into the future. Consider what will happen next and think about all the joy and pain you can experience by taking action right now. This practice can help you think rationally and make judgments based on future outcomes that you can influence today. It's like having a time machine to see the future and modify your present actions to change it. What we do today affects our future. While we may not always be certain of joy, we often can't escape the painful consequences of our actions. When we take a deeper look at what procrastination is, we understand that procrastination is a form of promise breaking. For example, you plan to read the book necessary for your essay tonight, but when the time came, you choose to watch a movie with your friends instead. Isn't that breaking a promise? One of the most famous ancient Iranian deities is Mithra. Mithra is the god of warriors and the protector of promises, and its symbol is the sun. The Mehriyasht is one of the oldest Iranian texts, with parts of it belonging to the pre-Zoroastrian era. In multiple places in this book, there are sayings about Mithra being the enemy of promise breakers, and those whom Mithra becomes their enemy will lose their warrior spirit. I'm not trying to convince you that Mithra is a real being and controls someone's courage based on how they stand by their words. But legends have deeper layers, and that's what I'm talking about. When you fail to uphold the promises you made to yourself, the value of your words diminishes in your own eyes. Consequently, you may find it difficult to trust yourself, leading to a decline in self-confidence and potential feelings of anxiety. Often, when we discuss reasons to overcome procrastination, we tend to focus on its external effects, such as productivity. However, I'm here to emphasize that quitting procrastination can have a profound positive effect on your self-confidence. It's not about the task, it's about the promise we made. When we stop procrastination, we feed our warrior inside. Many of us procrastinators have a wrong perspective about time. Suppose we have a week to complete a project that requires 7 hours, for example. We mistakenly believe we have a full 7 days at our disposal, but we don't. In each day, we have other tasks as well, and they may sometimes require more time than anticipated. Additionally, unforeseen events can occur that affect our ability to complete our work. If you put off the task until the last days and suddenly get a virus with headache, fever, and diarrhea for 2 days, what will happen to your task? What if your best friend breaks up with his girlfriend and asks you to spend some time together? One of the most powerful gods in Iranian mythology is Zurvan, the god of time. Zurvan is neither male or female, and prayers or sacrifices do not influence its decisions. It might bring good or bad luck to you, making things go much better than you expect, or it might lead you into lots of trouble. Ferdowsi, a famous Iranian poet, advises, do not postpone today's tasks until tomorrow, because nobody knows what tomorrow may bring. The point is, we should make the most of the time we have and approach future possibilities with a realistic mindset. The future is beyond our control, but what we can control is ourselves in the present moment. Before Islam, Zoroastrianism was the main religion in the Persian Empire. The Zoroastrian belief system features a dualistic worldview with two primary deities, Ahura Mazda, the source of good, and Ahriman, the source of evil. And people are free to select between these two options, but they must take responsibility for their choices. In a Zoroastrian scripture named Manucher, there's a discussion about the main desires of Ahura Mazda and Ahriman for humanity. It says Ahura Mazda tries to make people aware of the good, which leads them to reject the bad and follow the good. In contrast, Ahriman tries to make people unaware of the good, so they disgrace the good and embrace the bad. Put simply, Iranian wisdom suggests that if humans grasp the benefits and drawbacks of something, such as a behavior, they will make the right choice. Thus, understanding inherently means the potential for positive transformation. In other words, we can change because we can learn. Just think about it. This is amazing. We are living in an era with an unbelievable amount of sources to learn. Books, internet, podcasts, AI, and even YouTube. We have the knowledge of human beings in our pockets. Why not take advantage of them to learn and improve ourselves? These days, learning is simpler, so changing can be simpler too. It depends on us, because we are free to choose how to use these opportunities. When our minds encounter an unfamiliar situation, we often experience a sense of being lost and uncomfortable. In response, our coping mechanism activates to protect us from the source of this discomfort, leading us to set aside the task and procrastinate. When we're stuck in a cycle of procrastination, it's helpful to pause and ask, do I truly understand the steps needed to accomplish this task? Do I have a clear understanding of where to begin? If the answer to any of these questions is negative, it indicates that the immediate task is to learn the necessary knowledge on how to accomplish the main task and determine the starting point. You can also question yourself, can I divide this task into smaller tasks? There's likely someone who has faced a similar challenge. Can I approach them for guidance? In addition, nowadays there's a template and detailed guidance for almost every task. Why not utilize them as a source of direction? There's a saying from Bozorgmer in the book of Qabus that to not knowing something isn't a bad thing, but neglecting to seek knowledge about it is a bad thing. We often use the term perfectionist to describe individuals driven by an inner desire for perfect results, as well as those motivated by a lack of confidence and excessive concern for others' opinions. And many times, we procrastinate because we are perfectionists. When we feel uncertain about the outcome, we stop doing the task and turn to cleaning our room. Based on Iranian wisdom, perfectionism is an imbalanced behavior, often labeled as a demon. This demon is known as Frehbod and serves as a general in the army of the most powerful demon, greed. In other words, perfectionism often reflects the traits of an unbalanced mindset, a desire that seems to have no end, much like greed. The ideal state is to uphold balance in everything. Take a moment to think and be honest with yourself. Are all the goals you're chasing really essential? Are you seeking to impress others? While it's natural to desire to impress others, maintaining balance is crucial. Our time and energy are limited resources, making it impossible to satisfy everyone. It's important to remember that there's always room for improvement, but our time and focus are finite. Our human limitation in time, focus, and energy contrasts with perfectionism's need for unlimited resources. If you asked me to explain the reason for procrastination in one short sentence, I would say that the core reason for procrastination is the tendency to stay in our comfort zone. When we have not enough information about how to complete the task, or when we are afraid of the results because of our high standards, or paying too much attention to others' opinions, we try to put the task aside to feel safe. And this is in our nature. It is in our neural system. And we should be so happy and thankful to have such a great coping mechanism. But where do we stand in this situation? If humans were meant to follow their instincts all the time, we should still be living in caves, like other animals that are living in nature for many years. But if we are here, it's because we didn't stay in our comfort zone. We moved beyond it to reach an ideal state. One of the core concepts in Zoroastrian wisdom is the meaning of Asha. To explain it completely, I have to make another video. So tell me in the comments if you would like to know more about it. But in a nutshell, Asha is the law and essence of creation and life. Based on what we understand from Iranian wisdom and its teachings, the essence of life is to move. I'm not talking about the meaning of life. I'm talking about what constitutes a living being. Whenever you feel tempted to procrastinate, honestly ask yourself, does putting this task aside mean being alive? Am I stuck in my comfort zone to feel safe and joyful? This concept of Asha has a strong footprint in Iranian literature and poetry. Even today, there is a famous poet from the 16th century named کلیم کاشانی who wrote, ما زنده برانیم که آرام نگیریم، موجیم که آسودگی ما عدم ماست.